Okay, Vanakkam once again. Thank you so much for joining with us, people. Good evening. And today we are having the UX Designs 101 session. So this session is being taken by my friend Burhan. Yes, he is a UX designer, and he'll be taking up this session for you. So this is going to be a bit of technical session, and also probably he's going to take up on a. I don't know how he's going to take on the session, and probably that might be helpful for all the people there in the UI UX and also for the college students. Also, probably this is a very good session. It's literally is required for the students, the colleges, and for the professionals also, probably who works on the UI and UX. So, Bro, it's over to you. You can take up this session right now.
Hey, hi, good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. So, we are going to talk about this type of topic. I don't know how many of you are aware about the UX, the term UX. Even in the tech industry, it is called as design only. So, UX is the most specific thing when you are designing a digital product. So I'll go just into a basics. Actually, this is planned to be a very basic session where you'll get to know about stream of design, which is like when you're viewing a product, a digital product, which we use for this UX design, basically just laying out the foundation of that, which will help you to get a more insights on that. UX is user experience, which we call as UI also, which is user interface. So these are all the explanations which we use to tell to the people when we are describing our work. So getting started for UX, like how I'm structuring this dialogue is like I'll just explain what is user experience and then show you some examples of how the principle works, the basic things in the layman terms, and then for the goodness of audience, I think it is going to give you like multiple levels of knowledge. So, and then I'm just going to move into the UI thing, and then in between, like I'll give some analogies on it to get it understanding better. So, for example, if you go on search in Google, just give results, right? So, what is user experience design? So, some of you might have searched what is UX, and one-on-one is that is a basic thing. So, some might have explored about UX a little bit. I'm just going to surface on that. You might have gone through this problem of a door which says push and then you might have pull, right, and then it says pull and then you might have pushed something similar to this, and here we call it as Norman doors, which is very not instructive, and then you can see the handle is like similar in inside and outside, so probably the human brain will get confused and you can relate it to, right? So it's a basic of a natural human experience. So this thing came into tech industry back in 90s, as you can say this is what the user experience is explained in the Wikipedia. So it's just a says the user behavior on usability, usefulness, and the desirability provided in interaction with the product. So it can be a physical product, a digital product, or even the chair which I'm sitting. This gives me a comfort, and then it's designed such a way that it gives me a level of comfort where I can sit like for a long period of time. So you can take it for, even as a pen and example. So the difference between a high-end pen and then the ordinary pen, the feel which it gives. So it's a part of each and every product, from your slippers to your hair comb. So it's a part of this thing. So this is one of my favorite book, which is Design of Everyday Things. So it just came into I mean the UX, the term user experience came into the industry in 90s, where the tech boom is booming, where the experience is brought into the digital product. like the purpose it solves. For example, if you take a example as WhatsApp Messenger, so how it solves the purpose is like it's replacement of SMS. They used to cost a lot back in the days for a single SMS. So actually, that is the main intention of WhatsApp Messenger. So the problem is to send the instant message to somebody in the next, the other side of the globe with the lowest cost and the high the use of technology with the internet. So basically, so that is the problem which we are solving through WhatsApp Messenger or any instant message app. So before I'm just jumping into the responsibilities, which is a bit of technical term for somebody, I just want to take a step, pass here and give an analogy of making a tea. So it's a process of getting a tea as a result. So it has a process like milk, water, and tea leaves, sugar, and then like filtering it, right? So the end result is tea. So you can shuffle between the process. So for example, if I I just remove the milk from the tea, it would be a different tea, or I just remove my sugar. So it is a different. So it's based upon the problem you're solving. So UX is nothing but a problem solving in a method of a typical for a digital product, which you can say. Like a table is to hold a computer or a book while reading. It's a problem to be solved, right? So it gives you a comfort, and then it solves its purpose. So even footwear has its purpose to save us. So right. So something similar to that, like the end is the key, which is solving your problem. My friend used to tell this analogy. So in World War II, the British aircrafts, whatever the aircrafts returning from the war, they used to solve a lot of holes on the wings. So they focused on the wings to, strengthen it and then avoid hitting that. But they understood the further deep down into the problem, which is the flights which is not returning. It hit on the body of the plane. So if the plane is hit on the body, it will not return to its place. So that is the thing. So actually the problem is they want to strengthen the body, not the wings. So I'm just returning back to my responsibilities of a UX designer typically. So to understand the problem, so in every process of UX, like when you are solving a problem digitally, so you can take as a website as an example or mobile app for your so it serves a purpose. So website gives a brand identity through in the internet throughout the world. So what is the purpose is it's just splitting out the information about the brand, and then giving some insights about the brand for a newcomer. So that is the purpose of website. So they used to do some research and then other things to solve the purpose. So the main thing, the key thing is, as I said in the first slide of this presentation, the U is the key, which is the user is the key here. So the more focus you put into the user, it will become better. For example, you can take a Google search as an example. So you're searching on your desktop, and then you're switching it back to your mobile, and then you're starting it from there, or it's giving a suggestion from there, or you're googling on your browser, and then you're going to YouTube, and then you start searching here, and then it's giving you suggestions from what you searched previously that you obviously know, right? So that is a part and parcel of better UX for a digital product. So it comes with a typical stages of something called wireframing, prototypes. These all comes which you can easily explore through the internet when you are using that. And then the execution and analytics is more of designing and observing how it works. So you have some assumptions, and then you later get into the actual product, and then whatever you assume is not same as the user reacts to it. Something like your assumption is a bit deviated, and then you need to align it back. so that where the analytics of a product will work out, like how where the user is clicking on the button or something like that. It's more of a technical thing, and then I want to keep it short and to the point. I'm just going to that. The business and user context is basically like what is the problem you are solving and are we solving it. The problem is right in that way. So I want to say a bit more about principles of user experience design. So I just explained this just now, like it's about a use case. You will assume that the user will do, or the user will come click on the sign up before reading anything on the screen. That's not how it works. So he comes, explores few other pages, go to pricing, go to contact. I'm just taking a website as an example because it is more familiar to all the audience. So you go and explore some other bit and then go to the shopping or some other call to action, which we used to say a big button on the page. So the user testing actually helps this. So this is an interesting principle which I could say. So if you see a mobile app as an example, so this is a kind of layout which the components in the app are designed in such a way that for a person who is using the app in one hand, this is actually a term. So this is a natural area which is where your thumb can easily reach, and then on stretching your finger you can use this area at most. And then these overview zones are called as like very hard to reach because you're using your mobile on one hand. So there is also another option where you take in consideration you're designing games, which is two-handed one. So definitely differs from the use case. So it's an interesting example which I want to know how it works, the user experience design behind the digital product. So and then this last principle I'm sharing it out, like as a consistency. So if you take an example, the call to action of plus or composing a new email or making a new chat stands on the right side, whether it is I mean a free app or a paid app. So the user is very hardwired into a certain kind of the memory which is built worldwide for a period of time. It says that the call to action stands on the right, and then listing, and then the tabs on the bottom, kind of thing. So this is a quick thing about the UX on the baking of a thing, and then there's a lot more to cover in sense of making the actual product and then collaborating with the programmers to come into action, and then we usually test it before it goes to the hands of the user. I mean the alpha testing, you may call it as alpha testing. And then I want to a little bit share about the nuances like why UX is for you. So anybody can become a UX designer. It's not about like an athlete, so which is born with them like Usain Bolt. Like it's not like that. So you can basically build up that muscles of I mean the empathy. You could be a problem solver, something of a creative and critical thinking personality, and then more of a psychological thing, and then very empathetic towards other human beings. How will they react when I say this or when I do this kind of thing. So these are all the usual traits which every human being or person has. But it's more about like how you will train it to you can craft it as a profession towards it. So this is a normal. I mean the links where you can learn more about the UX. Obviously, the Google is awesome place to learn, as well as YouTube. Medium is also a nice place, which you can read more about UX then. And then jobs, like it differs, so it differs from place to place. Actually, it is a well-known job, and then gives you a satisfaction and I mean fulfilling for me personally as a problem solver to the real users. It doesn't save the world, but actually it makes it look good. So before moving on to the user interface design, I want to know whether you have any questions or let it take it up after the session. I don't. I want to be a bit of dialogue. Uh, I will take a 5 minutes quick question. Anything else, or else we can. So really, are we getting any questions from the audience?
Uh, no, see, probably we'll have the questions typed out in the chat. Probably you can see the chat also here. If not,
Yeah, got it.
yes.
Yes, got it. So other than that, it's going well, right?
Yeah, yeah. If there are any questions, probably right now people will just type on the questions here, and probably at the end, if you want to take up again any sessions and go on with the thing, probably we can see it up.
Yeah,
So you can see people typing
yeah.
down
We'll
there.
take like okay. So we'll take like 2 or 3 minutes over here and then move on.
Yes. Yes, you have seen the
So
question.
yeah, yeah. So regarding the tools to create a wireframes, it's based on a platform you are using. So if you are using a Macintosh, you can go with Sketch or the open source, which is called Figma, which is widely used. It just needs a browser, which is called Figma. So I'll put it in the note while I'm sharing this slide deck also. For the thing, it's called Figma Figma. So it's a well-known tool where you can make a wireframe out of it, definitely, and they can also make a prototyping as well. Yeah, Figma is the tool. So it also enables you to mimic the application which you are making, either it will be a Android application or a iPhone application or even a website for that matter. You can actually see how it works. So you can click on the button and you can actually see how it reacts. Uh, so you can also do user testing as well. Yeah, I think the further deep down questions for the concern of the audience, we can take it personal based on the ways to create icons or something like that. For your concern, the wireframe so is nothing but a sketch which you like brainstorm, use to brainstorm. For example, you're designing a table, how the legs should look or how the desk, what is the width and height or something like that, and height or something like that. So before building something, you're like faking it out or doing a rough work, which is called wireframes, basically. Those who are like unknown of the word wireframe. So I'm just moving forward, like we can take the Q&A post the presentation.
There is one more
I'm
question.
just
Probably have
heading
you
towards
answered
it.
that also? Then?
Yeah, please suggest some good ways to create icons. Is that the question?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I'll do a live demo session by the end of the presentation. Hope that might work, so they can also get to know about the tool. Um, Obviously, it makes sense, I guess.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. So the user interface is nothing but like finally in which we come to whatever you see on the screen, like a button or a image which we use kind of satisfaction that you are seeing a digital product. So the UX is the brain behind it, and then the user interface is where the user is interfacing the application actually talking directly to it. So after the invention of iPhone, so the click or I mean the touch on the screen evolves, and then now the three-dimensional interactions, and then the animation. So everything booms from there. So before that, it's most of the external device which you call as mouse or a touch pen or something of that kind. So the physical, you can touch the screen with your fingers, evolved from the iPhone, which is immersive experience. The user interface, as the name implies, you can see it on the screen and then interact with it to get the feedback from that. So basically, it's nothing but while you're driving a car and a two-wheeler, so it just gives a different feedback, right? So if you turn it, it will give a different feedback. So if you ride a auto rickshaw, obviously it is very different from while you're riding a car or a two-wheeler. So it's nothing but a feedback which you are getting from the interface which you are interacting with. So the user interface is nothing but a interface where you can easily use and then say see how it works actually for your input. To say it as an example, it's more about visual design where you see what it looks. It's a kind of graphical design as the participant asked a question. Um, and look and feel more of colors and then typography. Typography is nothing but how the words and letters are designed. So sans serif fonts, whom you might have aware and the word or the Excel tool. So it differs, right? The italicization, bolding, other things. So it obviously make a difference. So the letters on the left hand side is different from the letters on the right hand side. Obviously, it gives a reference that this is a heading and then it is a content on the slide. So the interaction design is nothing but like more of animation or a moving object into your screen, or simply how you tap and then it becomes gray and shows a shadow below the bottom. So I'm just getting more into the technicality of how it works as a interaction design of the thing, but you can always go and serve the work for more about the user interface design. And then a simple example is which we call it as scrap. So it's more about a contrast. So for example, the two colors matching. So if you put gray, it will gives a different instead of orange. Or it gives a more of a visual appealing thing which you repeat the things where the artist looks, and then alignment. It obviously looks good when the egg is shaded on its straight rather than collapsed. So it's a good example for an alignment. So it obviously looks good when you see as a holistic picture of the application or website. And then proximity is nothing but technicality how the two different objects immerse between each other, and then the user can able to differentiate that this is the button and then this is the background kind of thing. So it's more of a UI design website. You can go more into a graphic design and then making a posters or something like that, and then getting into that. So UI UX designer might be simply how you call, like they usually wear both the hats, UI as well as the UX designer. In large companies, yes, you will have different roles dedicated for UI and UX. And then to sum up what I have said, you can say it is a skeleton and then the muscle which is building up and then giving a good figure presentable in a presentable manner. So the UX is a skeleton where it will build everything, the structure, the information architecture. When I say information architecture, within the home it should come, or within the new chat, these are all the options which I need to have. Or if the user clicks on this, if it goes wrong, you need to end up here, something like that. So this is the entire skeleton which gives the shape to the product or a website or application for that matter, and then you cover it up with the UI, which looks good, the colors and other things. So I want to end up this presentation with a quick example. So we typed what is UX in the beginning, right, on the Google search. Like what is the UX and UI in this product? So all you know, like this very simplistic user interface in the world is used by the most people. which solve the purpose, and this is the only most used product which you will enter, and then you will be thrown out of the product. Like you will end up in the search results, and then you will land up in a website or a thing which you are searching for. So this is a perfect user experience which I can everybody can relate to, like most of the people. Right? What are all the things you are seeing? The icons, the text, and then the bold and the unbold thing, and then the option to exit, and then the voice search, or you can switch it to a different application. The sister application of this Google search, or you can obviously make a after hitting a result of search, you can go into different kind of search. For example, images is there. The videos is there. So on the top of header, you will see that. So it's a good user experience. And then when you look UI, as I said before, it's just giving a brand that this is the search engine, which is very simplistic and then to the point. And then they are most the main user experience over here is the speed which you are getting the results. Even now you could see the results. In 0.07 seconds or 0.068 seconds, we are getting thousands of results. So that is a good user experience which Google doesn't compromise the date. So that is a good example of UI and UX as well. In my experience, I just started in as a Android developer back in 2014. Later moved into UX designer as a core, and then in a startup, and then I learned from there, and then I just working in analytics company back in Bangalore. So in my experience, like the process, the job, the responsibilities differ from job to job, even a project to project in that, for that matter, or a service to service, or a product to product. So it doesn't seems to be a same thing. So the use case of YouTube is different from the use case of WhatsApp or Snapchat or Insta. So obviously every product solves its own purpose. So obviously you need to learn more about the platform, and then gather insights, and then immerse yourself into the research and how the product works, or how the service works if you are working for a service client. And once you get into that, you will build the muscles of that particular domain, and then you will gather more about the understanding about that particular domain or a problem, basically, and then come up with the optimum solution for that problem. So I'll end up my session here. To me, nature is a awesome experience designer. So wherever you go, you will be immersed and or very awful to that the nature, how it goes, even if it's a UX or a UI, how a leaf is designed, how a flower is colored, and then how it complements with the leaf. If you take as an example, if you take UX, like how you will feel when you're putting a tender coconut in your mouth, or water in your mouth. So how it feels, the nature is designed in such a way that to give a comfort, and when you're looking at a beautiful scenery on a mountain or a snowfall. So how will you feel when you're looking at it, and just seeing it, how it feels? It's a different story when you throw that snow. To your friend, or when you're swimming inside a deep water. So it gives a different experience, right? So we will inspire from the nature. So the physics in it. So when you are touching a button, so how it will react, or you're throwing a ball, how it will it bounce. So everything. If you take a successful game as an example, it will draw inspiration for more from the real world, like physics. The speed how it reacts. So for example, most of you are familiar with a game, PUBG, or sort of that game. So how it reacts when you're giving an experience, right? The collaboration is another user experience, which is taking the gaming to the next level, even to the mobile. This speed of overwhelming speed of internet nowadays. it obviously gives the awesome experience to the users. So actually, you're into the battlefield and playing with your friends. I'll take a pass here, and then I'm happy to get your questions on board. Thank you guys for listening to the talk and then for your time.
Yes, thank you so much, Brian. Thank you so much, people. And we are open for questions right now. If you have any questions, please post on your questions here, or you can just directly ask him by switching on the mic. You can just go on directly asking the questions.
Yes, so for creating icons, Adobe is a paid tool, and in Figma definitely you can make a icon out of it. I'm not just going into detail about the icons. I'm just sharing the small session of it, how the icons are created on Figma. So I'll do that in a minute. Um, Yeah, obviously Figma is a free tool where you can explore till of expertise level. Exactly, like Figma is awesome to start with, even if it is a UI design or UX for that matter. You can watch many tutorials out there in the internet or YouTube for Figma, using Figma for UX or UI. Like you can be a pro guy to work on the Figma. Definitely, there is no prerequisite for a UI designer. So once you have a intro to learn it, like a craft, so you can do that. So the basic thing is like you are fond of art or design or crafting, be it a paper or paint or something like that in that matter. The art doesn't have a medium, right? So you can start with anywhere. It doesn't have a prerequisite. The artist lives inside everybody, right? So once you see a ugly picture or something, you will be hesitant to. I mean, you're not so comfortable with that. And then once you are seeing a beautiful scenery, and you will be more drawn into that. Like that is a prerequisite for that matter. All right. Let me share the tool once for the audience. Like if you have some, actually, I am not planned to do this session live or show the tools because the audience is more interested on the tool. So I'm just sharing it to the audience. So, so really, can you put some my screen?
Yes, it is visible. Bronagan, it's visible. It is visible.
Yes. So, for example, if this is a tool where you can, design a element something like this, but this is not a actual. The UX design or UI. To that matter, it's very detailed. The icon thing. I'm just answering the audience question. So it's very deep into that. I'm just want to answer this question. I'm just sharing this. So this is the icon which you might see. So this is a tool which I showed you, right? This is a Figma, and then you can see this is the icon, so you can move this video here or here. So this is how download icon or upload icon, which you see on the user interface look like. It's a more of a kind of user interface design. Technically, it's like 100 kilometers depth inside the UI design. So it has more calculations and then pixel perfections. So if you can see this, you can go into detail of the pixel, each and every pixel. So it's very precise, and then it's very calculated for that matter. It all gives a full picture when you're seeing that small icon on the screen for a download. Actually, it conveys that you're downloading from the cloud. A software or something on the internet. So this is a way which you can edit the icon. So it's very flexible and you can do that, which is similar to Photoshop or advanced tool which is paid. And then this absolutely free version which you can go and explore around. And then this is where you can have a controls of how the layer works. So I just want to be a little more. Explanatory for this tool. So, for example, I'm just going and doing a rectangle for that matter. So you can, if you want to do a iPhone design or a frame which says you are designing for iPhone app, so you can select it from here. So I want to design for an Android or iPhone, so you can select that. It will give you dimensions for how it's feasible from the technical perspective. So once you are sharing it with the developers, you obviously want to share the same language. So if you say like 10 pixels from the top, so if you want to give that coordinates, right? When I'm saying coordinates, it's just how it's distant from the top and bottom. So you can see it as an example. So this is how they will put it out from the code. So this is width and height and left and top, giving a how actually this is how the user, the developers will understand your design this is a button, and then I want to put a circle on that our text on this. So they will take everything from here. Um, and then start from there. So actually, as a designer, the main key ability is to communicate your ideas to the developers, which the actual product is coming to the life. So this is a more of a medium. To me, the tool is a medium to convey your ideas. That's it. So it's not more about a tool. So if you go to big companies like Google or Twitter or some other companies, they will value more of your idea or the problem solving skill rather than the tool design. So the tool is very flexible, and then you can learn it like in a week time. You can master it in a month. So it doesn't matter actually. So the main thing matters is the idea which you are sharing, and the problem or a solution which you are putting into the desk, and then the value which you are getting on the ideation phase, like how you're solving the problem. As the WhatsApp solves, I mean, replaces the SMS, right? So if you want to pay for the SMS, how big it will, you can imagine, right? So you're texting like thousands of messages to your boyfriend or girlfriend or friend or parents. So you're sharing a video in a like a very easy and intuitive manner, even a layman or a farmer can give a voice note to another farmer that the rain is coming here, something like that. So it solves a problem, right? So that is a key thing, not a tool or the way which you use the tool. Definitely, you can learn from it and then master over a period of time. It's more about the practice, it's similar to every other art.
So, thank you, Burhanuddin. Thank you so much. Yes, people, if you have any more questions, we can just go ahead asking the questions. So, there's a good thing that Burhanuddin was able to show up a demo also. So, if you have any more questions, probably you can just start asking the questions. Uh,
Yeah, I think all of you had a good time knowing about a little bit of UX. I tried my level best to convey like how the world of UX design look like, and always you can reach out to me via my phone number, WhatsApp, or email. I'm happy to take it forward from where you are, like what's the UX design. And then thank you everyone and Suroli for giving your time and making the platform to share my thoughts.
sure, sure. It's a pleasure, Burhanuddin. Thank you so much for coming out with this session. Probably people would have been benefited by this, I guess. And I guess people are done with the questions, Burhanuddin. Thank you so much. So it's time we wind up this session. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining with us today also. So we have a session tomorrow by 3 o'clock, not 5 o'clock. So see you then. Until then, bye. Good night.